All right. People. Welcome. It is Hot Take Wrestling. I am your boy, Thousandaire Playboy, Old Man Logan. To the right of me is my esteemed colleague, KG, the other KG. And I'm trying to think of one of his other monikers that he went by on Instagram. But let me go get the
Whiskey
intros.
sour poppy, I
Whiskey
think.
Sour,
Okay,
Whiskey
okay.
Poppy, Ginger Assassin. Uh, yeah, man of many hats, many names. But hold on, KG. I'm gonna get your intro together. You can talk to the people right quick before we get this thing rolling.
It's the ginger whiskey assassin, the other KG. Hashtag y'all gotta chill.
KG, talk to the people.
I just need to know, Logan, did you see the end of AEW?
I did. I did.
No, also, our old coworker got swerve a job with that forklift.
Started off with a hot take. Oh man. Probably was. It probably was his forklift. Yeah, man, got a new. That's some behind the scenes people. Y'all wouldn't get that. Y'all wouldn't get that. The only person that probably would have got it is Joe, outside of us. Oh man. Oh boy. All right, let me go get my intro right here and then we can go and get started, KG.
It's Big Oos, Old Man Logan, acknowledging.
All right, people. Namaste. Greetings and salutations, all that good stuff. I got my Goldberg shirt on. I think it's only fitting since this has been dubbed Goldberg's retirement week. So yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for checking out Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. And we're on a special night tonight. We're on Thursday, normally on Wednesday nights. But we had to go ahead. We had some things going on. Brother was tired. I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all before we get started. Yesterday, this entire week, the week after the fourth has been one for the books for me. At least the first half of it. We'll see how tomorrow goes and see if it ends on a good note. But our recording day of Wednesday, I got stuck at the barbershop. I couldn't. It's just like, yeah, I got home late. It was no way for us to do our thing on Wednesday. But we're here tonight. So me and KG, we're gonna do our per usual. We're gonna do the weekly recap. We're going to go into our all-in picks for AEW's pay-per-view that comes this Saturday afternoon, as well as WWE's Saturday night main event. And last but certainly not least, the ladies of the WWE have their own pay-per-view once again with Evolution 2. And that takes place on Sunday night. So, KG, without further ado, my good friend, we're going to go ahead and start with the weekly recap. Excuse me.
And now, your week in review.
KG, the floor is yours.
Let me just start off by saying that I am shocked that Starbucks has not sued WWE yet because I keep telling you, a Grande Americano sounds like some type of specialty drink on their menu. Just saying. With that being said, clearly we know who the replacement is. This is hilarious because he was in the background when the injury happened, when they wrote Chad Gable out of the storylines. Mr. Ludwig Kaiser.
I was thinking that. I was like, but you know what gave it away? He did this at the start of the match on Monday, and that's his little thing. You know, he walks around like that, and I was like, come on, guys. On top of him being a whole like 2 feet tall.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sitting up here rolling. I'm like, because some of the moves he does, you could kind of imitate in terms of putting that in his repertoire that Chad Gable does, because they both are really good mat wrestlers. Like Chad Gable does a little more aerial stuff, so I don't know if they're gonna actually have Ludwig do a moonsault or anything like that. So, and I don't know if that's even necessary because the whole running joke now is It's just like you can tell it's not him. But I like to see how
Right.
far they go with this. It's almost like the Doink the Clown thing. Because then Doink had one day like multiple people playing Doink at one time. Or am I tweaking?
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
they
No. It
okay.
was totally several different wrestlers that were doing at one point in time.
Okay. That's making sure I wasn't tweaking. And then there was the two Undertaker thing, so you know how that went.
Look, hey, multiple doinks, two Undertakers. They made a whole. What did SummerSlam? They had that match.
Yeah, when they had like he like disappeared and as a ghost or something. I think that's how the match
Yeah. Then you had fake Diesel. You had fake Razor Ramon. Just like
I'm not
it's.
gonna lie, as a kid, I stayed up a little bit after that.
I bet.
'Cause I was like, this man disappeared, went through the screen, teleported or something. I was like, what's going on, man? But
Yeah.
Seth Rollins Sable is picking up momentum every week now. I did think it was well, Jay didn't lose. I forgot. Oh, so Bronson lost by disqualification. But the point is, they showed dominance. I wonder what they're gonna do with this Sammy angle because this is Karrion Cross is already getting over. So I don't know where they go with this. It's like this is gonna be like not a double turn, but like how do they turn Sammy if that is the plan? Because it seems every time Karrion gets involved, people kind of go back to their roots. It's almost like that Fiend effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because New Day started as heels. Well, they didn't want them to be heels, but when they officially became New Day, they were initially well, no, they were my fault. They were babyface. The crowd wasn't accepting them, and then they thrived as heels. So kind of like the first time they thrived was as heels, because I remember like they eventually just turned because the crowd just kept trolling them. But who else kind of went back to their roots? Well, AJ didn't kind of go back to his roots. He kind of didn't fall for it, but he just I feel like it was somebody else that he kind of got in their ear other than New Day, and it's just I'm just going over my head in terms of what they have him doing backstage. But the point is, it's getting over. It's not necessarily about being cheered, so I could refrain from saying the babyface thing because nowadays too many heels outside of Gunther are playing to the crowd in the first place. Like I said, they need. I feel like they need to have Seth go back to his architect thing, like when he was under Authority.
Yeah.
Because he's being pushed as the top heel outside of Gunther right now, and arguably the top heel because we don't know where they're going with this Gunther and Goldberg. I'm assuming we'll get into that later. I'm assuming Gunther's going over, but either way, he's one of the top heels, and every week he's encouraging the crowd to sing his theme and hum it. I feel like I said, they should go back to that thing or just revamp and get a whole new theme for him. I heard that was in the works. I don't know if that's confirmed or not, though.
Yeah.
It's working, but it's just that little tweak in itself should be something to me if if you're gonna have him push one of the top heels personally. Um, I am excited to see what happens with this whole Judgment Day thing. I know we discussed that like once a week, or where do they go with that when Liv comes back? Is it one of those things where do they go with the Freebird rule and they eventually lead to Liv maybe turning babyface? Because I don't know. I think she's done everything she can do as a heel. They pushed her to the moon. She won the Crown Jewel Championship. She was the Women's World Champion for about 5 months, give or take. Because she won it at Summer. No, she won it before SummerSlam. She retained at Summer because she beat Becky for the championship. I forgot that's how they wrote Becky out of the storyline. So she won it like she had it for about 7 months, I want to say, because I think because she beat Becky when they were in Saudi Arabia. I forgot which event though. It might have been Night of Champions again. And so she had it at least 6 months, like I said. And then how many times she's touched the tag titles as a heel with Raquel. It's just one of those things. And I'm interested to see where they go with that for sure.
Yeah.
What else did I want to touch on? AEW real quick. Like I said, we touched on the end of Dynamite where Swerve crushed the limousine with the forklift. Shout out to our old coworker for letting them use him as a reference. But I thought the fatal four-way between Megan Bayne, Tekla, Queen Aminata, and Ty Mello was pretty good, actually. If you get a chance, go back and watch that. So Megan Bayne qualified for the women's casino gauntlet match. They made the Hurt Syndicate look very vulnerable, which kind of had to do because you can't make them look indestructible going into every match. My only gripe with that is the fact that it's a triple threat. And the idea of a triple threat initially, even though it kind of does, they painted them as being the underdogs by doing that, but also they wanted to humanize them. So it kind of was a double-edged sword type thing because There is only one babyface team in there, which is Jet Speed, and then you got the Patriarchy, and then you got Hurt Business. Uh, I thought I didn't know what they were going to do with the whole face to face with Mark Briscoe and MJF. I thought it went well for what it was supposed to be. I'm
Mhm.
still not. I told you, I'm not. I don't like the dead being brought in the promos. It wasn't an insult at the dead, but it was still using the dead to get cheeky. I don't like it personally. It's low hanging fruit. That's just me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I felt that way for a while. Like I'd be uncomfortable doing it, that type of angle. Period. But uh, I don't know. It's just not for me. But SmackDown, don't want to touch on anything. Oh, I forgot LA Knight's hidden run in Raw. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So I was like, he just snuck up after he went over Penta, and I do like how they're still protecting Penta though, because you know outside of Braun, he hasn't really had a clean loss, and that was just like an anomaly type thing where caught him off of a spear bouncing off the ropes type thing. So it's not like Penta's losing any type of momentum. I like the fact that they are investing in a new tag team because even though we know they'd probably be better as single stars, but Andrade and Ray Phoenix are definitely clicking. They're for last 2 weeks in their tag team matches. Like the match against Fraxium was pretty damn good, and then the match against DIY 2 weeks ago, I really enjoyed as well. So that could be a potential opponent for the Street Profits should the Profits go over this Friday against the Y6.
Mhm.
I'd be really down for that because, like I said, the presenting the Profits is not necessarily anything, not faces, not heels. Like I said, they're just a more aggressive version in a sense. So they could definitely lead that match in terms of being the heels if they need them to, which they probably will, obviously promo wise. But
Mhm.
what else is? I'm trying to think. Was there any other talking point that I wanted to touch on in terms of? I think that's it. In terms of what I mean, unless you had something that caught your eye in terms of or even on NXT or anyone. I'm just trying to think. I think that was all the.
This week I didn't get a chance to watch NXT. I will pull up WWE's website really quickly to see what matches may have taken place. I know they're getting ready for Great American Bash. Now that's
Yeah,
next week, right? That's not this week.
I believe so.
So okay, so we'll have the predictions for that next week. Some points I wanted to touch on that you brought up during the recap. Liv Morgan's last title reign. So it said it lasted for 226 days. According to Google here, it says she won the title May 25th,
Oh, May. Okay.
2024. Yeah, May 25th, 2024, and lost it on January 6th, 2025.
Okay, I remember she lost on the first episode of Raw on Netflix. I remember that though. Yeah, I just couldn't
Mm-hmm.
remember. I knew it was before. Sometimes I had to catch myself. That's why I was like, wait a minute. I was like, that was the retainer title when Dom turned and they kicked Rhea out of Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Karrion Cross. Do I want to bring that up first, or do I want to bring up Gunther? Some people are actually. I was listening to Busted Open Radio today, and Dolph Ziggler, aka Nick Nemeth, he's one of their guest hosts on specific days, and he was on there talking to Dave LaGreca, and they were talking about the possibility of the title actually changing hands on Saturday night and Goldberg winning. So we were talking about the likeliness of it. Well, they were talking about the likeliness
Mm-hmm.
of it. Excuse me. And Dolph, aka Nick, he was kind of under the impression he felt like anything's possible, especially with the trajectory of WWE right now. It's no secret since WWE has changed ownership. TKO now owns it. It's been a lot more inclined to like pull back the curtain, if you
Mm-hmm.
will, in terms of things and productions and how WrestleMania is done and how this is done, that is done, how we come up with this story. They've
Right.
been more under the sports entertainment umbrella as far as
Mm-hmm.
presentation wise to me. So that being said, they were saying, well, we can see a scenario here where Goldberg could very well beat him Saturday at Saturday Night Main Event and maybe hold that championship until SummerSlam, which we're in July. Realistically, him holding it for a month is it's not out of the realm of believability. But
Right.
let me ask you this: they do that now. correct me if I'm wrong here. Goldberg hasn't had a match in what, about 3-4 years?
At least, I think the last one was that it was against Taker, right? When it was like just a botch fest, or he has one since then.
Was the one with? I thought the one with Brock was after that. Because I know what you're talking about. That was in Saudi. That match that took place.
I didn't think he faced Brock since Brock won the title from him like 8 years ago. I thought they haven't. I think whatchamacallit has all their matches listed. It's like iwnerd.com or something. They said I looked at their entire. I can pull up real quick myself too. Hold on.
Okay, because I'm just hitting Google right quick, and I'm just trying to see when was his latest match. What was the last one for that? So while we waiting on good old Google to give us the results of that.
Bobby Lashley.
Okay, Bobby Lashley. No. Wait.
Hold on. Sorry, Roman. I forgot Roman faced him at Elimination Chamber. Yep. Okay, so Roman submitted him
for the was that for the championship?
Yeah, because Roman said at the title it was 2022.
Okay, so yeah, 3 years ago. We're talking about a guy that hasn't had the title in 3 years. He comes and he beats one of the guys that's been heavily booked in a way that he's been protected. He's been in high regard, high fashion. Gunther has only lost a handful of matches
by pinfall. He's only lost 2, by submission 1, and then he lost to Chad Gable by disqualification. So 4, I think.
So 4 altogether.
Yeah, you said handful. Yeah, I was just double checking. I was just trying to do the math. Yeah, Cody pinned him. Well, Sammy pinned him, then Cody pinned him. Sammy and Jay are the only ones that defeated him definitively because Sammy pinned him after the haluva kick, and because you did that turnbuckle brainbuster, then he did the haluva kick, so that was definitive. And then Jay, tapped him out, so that's definitive. And then Cody was like a random roll up when he was in the sleeper, and like I said, Chad was by either count out or disqualification or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I was gonna say by recollection. I was trying to think. It's only been a handful of times. So. But that's still it. I mean, okay, granted, we all know this is sports entertainment, professional wrestling, whatever you want to call it, right? We all know this is scripted entertainment at the end of it. But does that, in your opinion, like cheapen the product overall? Like when you do that, when they do these kind of things where, okay, we know why you put a title on Goldberg right now. It's the service, you know what I'm saying? Business. Goldberg is going to draw names. Whatever you may think about him personally, as far as his in-ring ability and his career, what he may have done, who he may have injured, who he may have put on the shelf permanently. Shout out to Brett, love you. He's still one of those names that it rings bells, and it brings the casual fans back to the product when you have him present. So right. I don't think it's a bad idea for TKO to have him around in some type of capacity. I don't necessarily think you take one of your brightest stars of the present that's going to take you into the future. You know what I'm saying? Losing is what you do. Because to be honest, it's like, all right, well, what do you do with Gunther if he wins? Okay, what's next for him there? Or if he loses, what's next for him there? Like, there's all signs point to him having a rematch with him at SummerSlam or like Monday Night Raw. Like, what happens? You know what I'm saying?
See, I think we discussed this before. I think it's probably going to lead to Gunther and Brock because they keep mentioning Brock again after they weren't mentioning him for a while for obvious reasons. But it's like you put the title on Goldberg, where do you go from there? That's my whole thing.
Yeah.
There's literally nowhere to go unless you have Seth cash in that main event because really, who's next? He says it all the time, but really, like Cena, you got so many possibilities. Not just because Cena's younger, but you have way more possibilities when you put that title on Cena. Like Goldberg, heel-wise, outside of Seth, who do you have? You're not going to skyrocket Karrion Kross that fast. And then it cheapens Gunther and cheapens Jay. It's just cheapening the whole world championship match from WrestleMania if you do that. Not you, if the company won, if Triple H books that. Like, it doesn't make sense at any point. I'm not saying it's impossible. It doesn't make sense, though.
Mhm.
Like,
What do you think
for example, no, I was gonna say, for example, we were storyline wise, we thought it was terrible what they were doing with just, you know, shoehorning EO in that feud with Bianca and Rhea, but that was the best match of WrestleMania card. It wasn't even close outside of Punk, Seth, and Roman. That's the only thing that even snipped that, and I would still say that was the best match on the card. You know, on either night.
Yeah.
So
I totally agree. That match caught everybody by surprise. Not that we didn't know the participants of that match were going to put together a great match, but it was just kind of like the story. And I think us as fans, that's kind of like
right. It just make sense, right?
Yeah, it was just like, oh, well, you just sandwiching her in between these two women, and it was like, yeah, we were clamoring for Bianca and Rhea again, but putting EO into that nucleus just made it rise a little bit more and brought a little bit more to the thing overall, which, you know, the end result was great. It didn't necessarily make sense to us as fans initially.
Yeah.
So with this, it's just kind of like, what unless I'm because it takes us down a deeper rabbit hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
You put this title on Goldberg, you either have somebody returning, or what do you think the possibility is of maybe Seth cashing in at that end of that match? Let's just say Goldberg does defeat him, Seth runs in, you know what I'm saying? You have Braun come in there, spear Goldberg twice. You know what I mean? Bronson come and give him that. What's Bronson's move off the top rope called?
The tsunami.
The tsunami. I was gonna say the typhoon. Rest in peace. But you know, you have him giving the tsunami from off the top rope. You know, cashing in 1, 2, 3. You could have that happen, and I think a lot of people are thinking that's happening.
Yeah.
But personally, I was thinking, okay, that takes away from the ending of SummerSlam if we do that, because I was under the impression. Let's just say we get through this match, Gunther retains. We probably get back to Jey Uso versus Gunther, SummerSlam main event. Jey Uso prevails, finally wins the title back, and then boom, enter Seth Rollins and crew, and they demolish him and take the title from him.
I really think I said it. I think it's two names. I don't see Goldberg. I legit do not see Goldberg going over. I think I said Brock, but more realistic, I think, because once again, this guy does not have a home technically. Tribal Chief, the OTC. I think OTC or Brock is the plan for Gunther at SummerSlam. I think they're going to return after he beats Goldberg, because he's been trying to mock Goldberg's. You notice a couple times he did it on Raw one time. He said, "Who's next?"
Yeah.
So maybe he says that. Maybe he cuts that promo after. Hold on.
Okay. So while KG's
yeah, I'm right. Right, sorry. Okay. I was just saying maybe he cuts that promo again, and that's when you get a return in Roman or Brock. When he beats Goldberg, he gets on the mic and says, "Who's next?" And maybe you get either a return in Brock or Roman.
Okay.
I think Roman is more realistic. Like I said, not that Brock won't come back or anything like that. They definitely want that. Definitely at some point was a plan. But I'm pretty sure Netflix is clamoring for Roman, because you said they wanted him from the first place. And SmackDown has enough star power where you could easily just flip, because they got guys going on both shows now anyway. LA Knight is exclusive to SmackDown. All of a sudden he's feuding with Seth based off Money in the Bank, which is co-branded, but then but at the same time, not that I'm against it. I'm just saying nobody really has to be. I think the only people they really want to keep on those specific brands are kind of like those mid-card people. I think the guys who are floating around in the main event are guys that are going to have that leeway where it's like, yeah, but they're going to move the goalposts. That person going to pop on both shows if we need them to.
And I'm not actually mad at that.
Like, no, I'm not either. Yeah,
your stars should be able to float on both shows, because that's what helps to bring eyeballs to this thing at the end of the day, right? Like,
right.
Sure, we want to see, Cody's a SmackDown exclusive star. I get it. In theory, what that's supposed to do, make people go watch SmackDown specifically for that
Hmm.
person. But and it just overall, it just makes more sense for, like you said, the mid carders. Okay, these are the people that are going to carry these shows as brand exclusives. But our top dogs, yeah, we need them to bounce around. We need them to be on Raw. We need them to be on SmackDown. The guys that we've identified as the next generation, new crop, however you want to utilize the term,
Yeah,
whatever term you want to use there, yeah, you need to see LA Knight popping up on both shows, because how long are you going to keep LA Knight in the placement he's in right now
right,
before you go ahead and pull the trigger on him? It's
right. Because
guys
he's done
like
everything he
him.
needs to do
Yeah,
in
you
the
know what I
mid
mean.
card.
He's done what he's done in the mid card. It's which is why when Fatu took the belt off of him, I was completely fine with that. On top of just Fatu, Jacob Fatu just being, what I'm saying, hugely over at that point in time anyway. But it's about that time for you to pull the trigger on the LA Knight, for a title run. It's other people, like, okay, it started with Jay. Jay had his run. I do feel like it got cut prematurely. I don't know why it got cut prematurely. I was a person that was under the thinking, that hey, he was gonna probably hold it until SummerSlam. Didn't go that way, but whatever. But when we get to Brock or either Roman, um, while I think Brock could pop up, and has what it takes to pop up for a match or two, um, each kind of under the Undertaker act, then I'm totally fine with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's one of those things where it's a bad thing. But I do think that the Brock role or the Undertaker role, I think we're kind of in that space with Roman Reigns now. I think Roman's the guy that's going to bounce around. He'll go from show to show. He'll be that in case of emergency, for a second, or main event, you know what I mean? Break the glass, Roman does have a couple of sorry about that. I had the mic but Roman does have a couple of like outside projects going on right now. Like I know he was filming a movie with Adam Sandler not too long ago, and he has been cast as Akuma for the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah,
So
that's what I heard. Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know when that begins production, but again, in case of emergency, you know what I mean, break this glass for a main event. So I think if we are going to see Roman at SummerSlam, then you'll probably have Seth cash in Saturday night, and that'll be how that goes.
You could, or you could have Seth cash in on Roman. Like I said, then you do get in that territory of the problem with that, I guess, would be um, how many champions you would be having in the span of X amount of months, because you would go from Jay to Gunther to Roman.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just say Roman didn't even have to touch the title if he goes up and face Gunther. He could do the same thing that happened to him 10 years later. He was in a fight for his life against Brock. Seth cashed in. So that way you're not really playing hot potato to a degree. Yeah, you are, but at least you wouldn't have four different champions in the span of 2 months.
And
'Cause I
even
feel
with
like,
that, like that was something during the Attitude Era we used to see. Like remember,
yeah,
Kane was champion for a day, and Stone Cold beat him on Monday Night Raw and got the title back. So it's just kind of like it's one of them things where it's like for entertainment purposes, I'm not mad, especially if it means we could possibly see some of these other people get a shot at being champion. We still haven't seen Sammy in that role yet. Karrion Cross, somebody who's like you mentioned earlier, is getting over again.
hmm
Um, we haven't seen him in that light on the main roster yet. He's kind of floundered since they brought him up from NXT. They even released him. Trips
hmm
brought him back, but we haven't really seen him utilized. Yeah, he had a stable for a minute there, but they didn't really do anything with that. So it's certain people. It's like time to utilize them, and if they're gonna do that, I mean, the Raw title is the title to do that with. If they're gonna do that, because they're still building the lineage and the history of that title.
right.
So they have that bit of leverage with that particular championship where they can, do maneuvers like that where it's like you're playing hot potato for a couple of months between a couple of people. Because let's be honest here, in terms of the Raw roster, name me several guys not named Seth, not named Gunther, not named Jey Uso, that are, you know what I'm saying, primed and ready to go as the face of Monday Night Raw, being the WWE champion, heavyweight champion. You know, that isn't name those three guys. Like, what direction do you go? Like, who's ready to like put into that space? You know, so that's why I say for me, I wouldn't mind them playing hot potato, even if it meant Sammy had the belt for 2 weeks. Like, let's just see how Sammy does with the title for 2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah, because Sammy's gonna be at that situation where he finally gets the title. I don't think he should be a heel. For one, people forget. Sammy got caught up in 2016. Sammy's mostly been a heel on the main roster. People don't realize that.
That is true. I didn't think about that till you pointed that out.
He turned at 27. He turned at the end of 2017 at Hell in a Cell match, Kevin Owens against Shane McMahon. That was 2017. He didn't turn babyface again until 2023, which was 2 years ago when he did the chair shot to Roman. So he was a heel for over 5 years, because even during the pandemic, that's when he had faced Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 36. They got shortchanged on time. I was surprised. He was a heel all up until the end, because that was, 2018, there was a whole thing with him and Kevin Owens were teaming until Kevin Owens got hurt. And I think Sammy might have got hurt too.
Speaking of returns, and this is going to be quite a hot take, right? I just randomly thought about the Bella twins, and Nikki popped up not too long ago. I heard Brie was supposed to be popping back up not too long. In the rumorville, I heard this. They were saying they may possibly get one last run. We talking about returns, right? What if Daniel Bryan was to come from behind that curtain?
I was thinking that a while ago. The only thing is, I don't know what his contract status is, and I don't know if you saw a video leak after they did the AEW Grand Slam in Mexico. He made an appearance. He got physical. So I don't know if that means he's close to returning. I just know he's not supposed to be. And like I said, I don't know his contract status either. So that doesn't mean he's not going to be on the way out, because it's been one of those things where they did something for the crowd. But yeah, I didn't know that until 2 weeks ago. He had appeared after the main event at AEW Grand Slam Mexico.
Okay.
But it's not, like I say, never say never, because I do feel like he's destined to finish his career with the company that put him on the map. I understood why he left. They weren't going to let him wrestle the style. Triple H would have. Vince wouldn't have. Because you could tell his style got way more aggressive, almost to the point back to where it was on the Indies.
Yeah.
Like, he was wrestling as a babyface for the most part. He had a short little heel run. But his style was just way more physical in AEW. And then like he was doing that too out of pocket. Because some stuff he did in WWE looked a little bit more dangerous at times. So I'm like, I think he was just the more aggressive, because he still was taking bumps in WWE. But I would love to see that, honestly. With them, that means they're probably going to get a tag title run, more than likely. Especially they planted the seeds anyway, with that whole angle with Liv and Nikki Bella.
Yeah. And that's what made me think about it just briefly. But I was just thinking, and like you said, I don't know his status. When he had his last match in AEW against Jon Moxley, when Moxley won the championship from him, that is who Moxley won the championship from, right?
Yeah.
I remember them putting the little bag on his face and all that crap.
Yeah.
I just kind of was under the assumption that his contract was just about up. I think during that time they were saying that, but like you said, it was never announced that he had re-signed with the company or anything to that degree.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, I said, okay, well, if the Bella twins are back, there's a possibility there, and like you said, never say never. So I was just kind of like, I got a hot take, and I'm just kind of like, yo, what if we do see Bryan Danielson come back, and then he comes back as Bryan Danielson? He doesn't have to come back as Daniel Bryan. Obviously, he'd have that choice, and maybe just do the retirement tour thing his damn self. You know what I mean? Even with the Cena thing, and just to bring that in full circle, because of the history that was there with him, Cena, and the Bellas as well. Like, It was kind of like it's one of those things where I do think some sort of return is imminent. I just to say who or where, I don't know. It just has that feeling. Nobody really thought Goldberg was getting ready to come back and have one last match, right? But here we are. We having a Goldberg match in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So
I think we should have saw that coming though, based on what happened at Bad Blood. Like we probably didn't want to see it, and that's why we were probably denying it. But it was what 9 months ago. Yeah, we probably should have saw it coming 9 months ago. Maybe just want to do that.
Yeah, and I saw him on his Instagram page saying he did a couple of interviews, and they were like, "When are you going to hit the ring again?" And he was like, "I got one more match left in me." So
they picked the right person for him because he can carry a 5-10 minute match Goldberg probably.
Because to be honest, man, these are the people I would want to see going through face. I would want to see him face somebody of that ilk. I would love to still see him maybe Brock's a little. He's younger than Goldberg, but I would definitely like to see maybe a Brock in Gunther.
Yeah, he's about the same age as Cena. I think he's about 48 or hasn't turned 40. One either turned or is about to be 48. I think they're the same year. I think they were born like 77.
In that same proximity, yeah. I wouldn't mind that. I would like to see Roman and Gunther. And I just got the spitball, and it was just kind of like, before we got ready to record, I was like, man, where does WWE go with Gunther if you do take this title off of him? Because since he's been on the main roster, they really haven't. Since he touched the IC title, he hasn't really been out of any type of title picture. And he always holds the championship for a specific amount of time. So,
right.
He's obviously been booked, to the moon in that regard. So I was just kind of like, yo, if they do end up doing this, where do they go with him? What's next for him? You know what I mean? Because he lost it at WrestleMania, and it was just kind of like, he went away for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, boom, Gunther's back.
Right. Well, you see, that's why I said they don't really necessarily need a brand split. Especially because you got some of the younger talent right now with Seth. Because Bronson was in that tweener space before they officially put him with Seth.
Mm-hmm.
He already feuded with Jay, already feuded with Sammy. He feuded with Sheamus. Yeah, that's a great question. I'm saying I really don't know where you go. I guess you got Penta. You can use him to elevate Penta.
There you go. You could do that. He hasn't faced Braun yet, has he?
Not on the main roster, but I just think if they're presenting Braun and them, even though, like I said, Seth's playing to the crowd, they're a full-on heel stable, so I don't think going to that feud. That's why I was saying if Braun was still in that tweener space before he joined with Seth, he could have went that route. But it's not to say they won't. Maybe because the crowd's still into Braun, but they do all the barking and stuff. Is just, I think you use them to elevate Penta, even if whether Penta goes over or not. I think you use them in that space. Because you don't want to send them too far down the card. So maybe you had them go into a short program, or you just use it to because Penta's already been presented, like I said, as a potential star in the first place.
Yeah. I would say bro. I Penta.
Yeah.
When he was in AEW, and you remember back from our past episode, and him and Ray Phoenix were always people that I was mentioning personally that were like my shining stars that I really enjoyed watching. Like anytime I would watch AEW and they were having matches, be it they tag team matches or solo matches, I was definitely tuned and locked in their matches. I know Omega and the Young Bucks and everybody was like, oh, these are the guys. But for me, I when I started watching and really like paying attention, it was like, okay, I dug the Young Bucks, you know what I mean? But Penta and Ray, those are the guys I really enjoyed over there. So them making the jump and coming over here, like Penta's definitely a star. Like I don't know age-wise how much of a difference it is between him and Ray, but I'm like, oh, he's definitely filling those shoes right now. Like in terms of having a very mega popular luchador on WWE television every Monday for sure.
No, absolutely. Well, and then there's another possibility. I said, I think if you do that, you use it to elevate Penta. You use that to have Dom, because Dom is cooking right now in terms of, because now it's just like I think it's his like, what do you call it? His aloofness. Because you listen to him when he talks, it's like he's almost playing the dummy role, but he's talented enough where it's like he no longer has go away heat. Now I don't know if that was intentional or not. Like he didn't
Mhm.
understand time zones when he said
Yeah.
he was trying to get in touch with Liv. He running around. That was that angle on Monday when he was like, I still got a doctor's note.
Yeah, I saw that. It was hilarious when they had AJ in the background.
So you could do that. You could have that could be the way that you kind of establish Dom as a champion for a little bit. Have him and AJ go into a little program whenever they do their match, and then like maybe eventually have him drop it to Penta. Like I said, maybe that's why you have Gunther put Penta over.
Mhm.
I mean, hell, then after that, maybe Gunther feuds with AJ, or
Yeah,
maybe Gunther and Ludwig go after the tag title because Ludwig's not to touch the tag titles on main roster.
that's true. That's true. Before we get into our picks for the pay-per-views, bro, I just thought of something. I wish I remembered these guys' information. I saw it on Instagram the other day, and it made me think about a possible scenario. But before I touch on that, I do want to say, as far as AJ is another person where it's just kind of like, yo, does he get one more shot at the big dog title before he, calls it a career? It's like it's so many people that's kind of just like waiting in line that's like in
Hmm.
great shape that the fans are still behind, and it's just kind of like, all right, where do we go from here next? Penta's another guy. We didn't even mention him necessarily title wise, but
Yeah.
he's somebody that could be a valuable candidate for that, or at least the IC title. Um, but I think, and that's the thing. I don't know if that's necessarily a Raw thing or just a story, just the way things are being written. But these stables, they don't have the, like you say, the go away heat. That like Dom had. Like Dom had it
Hmm.
in Judgment Day, but the rest of Judgment Day was kind of whatever. You know what I'm saying? But and now you got Seth's stable there, and it's just kind of like whoever was like in control of the bloodline story writing, like they need to be doing that over here with these, because it's like disband Judgment Day already or something, and just focus in on Seth's stable. Like you have to have these stable, you know what I mean, and just book them to the moon so it makes them heels. Like you said,
Right.
catering to the fans. Like okay, yeah, Seth, we know it's a very popular theme entrance. We know that we
Right.
get. You're in heel mode now, buddy. You have Paul Heyman, who not only turned on Roman, but he turned on the voice of the voiceless, the guy
Hmm.
he fought tooth and nail for in the back behind the curtain, CM Punk. He turned on both of those guys. Like Seth should have mega heat right now. It is just
Hmm.
happening.
Yeah. And
Um, go ahead, bro.
no, that was it. I was gonna say, and I think, yeah, eventually they got a clash or something. Judgment Day with the Seth stable because at some point they're gonna want gold.
Yeah, like Bronson and Braun, they definitely have to be coming at those tag titles soon. Like
Yeah,
I
nah,
really,
I'm pretty sure that's probably the move for SummerSlam. Some type of multi-team match, or
yeah.
um, or a trip, or even just a one-on-one. They could because they'll probably be multi-team though because they already hinted at New Day once, and then Roy Raiders are still
Yeah, lingering.
kind of yeah.
They still need somebody. If it's gonna be like a quote unquote Evolution 2.0, I'm thinking they still got to get somebody for that mid card, so somebody that could possibly go after the IC title. I'm thinking that's where you put your boy A Town down in there, man. You go ahead and bring him back. He was once a part of Seth's fold before,
Right.
you know. So why not do it again? This would be the perfect time. You know who would be perfect if he was there too? Somebody else, but he's in AEW right now. This
So
would have been the perfect time for Buddy Murphy.
it would have been because he was once again he's on the Seth's umbrella too. He was those are the
Mm-hmm.
three those are. But they could put in there. You said this guy. You don't need nobody to top for him, but you could eventually. He's going to be due for a call up. You could put Ethan Page in that spot because
I
he's
know,
due.
and I was thinking they were going to do Ethan, but they got Ethan as the Northwest American champion now, and it's
Yeah, I mean they do. I mean it's one of those things where once he drops it, okay, we're accustomed to seeing people get these rematches, but the storyline kind of fits because he has a vendetta. He has a reason to have a beef with Punk too
mm-hmm.
because he cost him the NXT championship.
Yeah, yeah,
when he was a special referee. So there's a tie in there where Punk gets screwed again, and then maybe he has to try to find some type of help himself. I don't know how they do that, but if Punk continues to fight against them, because that's one of those things where it's like Punk and Rollins are almost like Ambrose and Rollins. You can go back to that anytime, or Roman and Rollins. It's like it's just there, and there hasn't
yeah,
no definitive, hasn't been a definitive end, especially since he cost him that Night of Champions,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
were just brawling last Monday. So
yeah. And also, I just thought about it as you were talking. Ethan kind of has like a stable around him now. It's some guys from Evolve,
oh, okay.
the tag team champions from Evolve, and the Evolve champion. They've kind of like positioned them around Ethan Page. So that's why I'm just kind of like I don't know if they're gonna move him anytime soon.
Right.
But by like I said, they're on Evolve. So I'm thinking Evolve is now like the new NXT, if you will, and they're pushing NXT as the third brand. So I mean you could definitely pull that trigger. I think that would definitely be interesting to see Ethan Page up on the main roster, and you got, like you said, you got some built-in feuds right there that'll give them momentum and give them visibility to the casual fan. Ethan Page versus CM Punk. Oh man, it's got to be one of his dream matches. That's totally one of those matches that'll put him in another stratosphere, especially if
Yeah.
you win.
Yeah, for sure.
So that being said, though, let me go ahead and hit the round table because I do have a question for you for what I saw on Instagram.
Ooh, the round table's getting heated.
Heated roundtable.
All right. So once again, I wish I remember these guys' names. It was two black guys. They were doing a podcast, and they were talking about John Cena and his final match and who that should be against, whom it should be against. And they were saying that they felt like John Cena should bring back the open challenge, much like how he was doing with the U.S. title. And just anybody could pop up to come and do the open challenge. So they were saying have John Cena do an open challenge for the WWE Championship, and it's a not for the title, excuse me, but just an open challenge, just for a match. Enter Obafemi, NXT champion, comes, has a very competitive, very solid match with John Cena, and actually beats John Cena in this non-title match. And they were saying for that final match, John Cena is so pissed about losing to Oba. He says, "You know what? I challenge you, and this is going to be on the line, the championship." And they have it, and they were saying Obafemi should just straight up demolish him, and that just have a Brock Lesnar Night of Champions-esque match to dethrone him for the title. So, what are your thoughts about Obafemi being the guy to finally dethrone John at the end of his run for that last match? If you agree or disagree, and if you think so, it should go to somebody else, who would that other person be? Because I thought that was a pretty original thought to have over there as that person.
It is, because they do need to establish the future of the company at some point, but I think too many guys have built up equity to not give them that moment, like IE and LA Knight. I think that's more than likely going to be the person that he throws in. There's rumors is going around that Cody's going to get the title back. I just don't see the only reason I even see why this rematch is happening is because Cody's too big of a draw for the company to not put him in that spot for SummerSlam. But it also signals to me they're not ready to take the title off Cena yet, because I don't see what purpose that serves. The only purpose this serves, like I said, is because of the draw. Plus, Cody probably also has a sour taste in his mouth of that WrestleMania match. Because that's the only bad title match Cody's had, arguably, since he got the title last year.
Mm-hmm.
They might not all be classics, but there were some, like that AJ match in Paris was 5-star. That I Quit match was borderline 5-star. That rematch against AJ. Hell, some of the matches, Solo is not going to, you don't expect, an actual, you know what I mean? Certain wrestlers, you don't expect a great match from it. Solo was good.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and say it, bro. Yeah, the Cena match is trash.
Yeah,
That was his worst match of his title reign. That was,
yeah. And so maybe that's
and I
part.
don't know if that was necessarily of his doing. I
No,
mean,
but yeah, I know what you're saying.
but yeah,
I would go LA Knight because even though he's not a spring chicken by any means, it's still the dude's like it's been how many years this dude's been over? It's not a fad. Like it's been two
yeah,
years and,
yeah.
and this dude's still the roof is still coming off the building. People talk about how over Jay is. No offense to Jay though, but he's not consistent enough promo wise on his own. I felt like Jay's best promos were when him and Jimmy did the Uso Penitentiary thing. I felt like that was Jay's best work. I'm not saying he doesn't cut any good promos whatsoever, but it's not LA Knight level promos to me. And
That's a
ring
hot
work,
take.
why? I don't know, man, because ring work, I think it's just
No,
facts.
I'm not saying I don't
Ah,
agree with you.
I
I'm
don't
just saying
know,
that's a hot take.
because people were saying like the Jay relies on the crowd a little too much, and LA Knight has his fan interaction for sure. He'll pump up to say, yeah,
I
he'll
mean,
get
he
that
has
in
the,
there,
you
right?
know,
But it seemed like somebody said something seemed like Jay relied too much on the Yeet thing when he's cutting his promos.
the Yeet thing was organic though. Like that's the only thing with that. I'm like, I think he just kind of, I don't know if he had coaching to say, hey, you know what, ingratiate that more into your promo.
Yeah, it's
You know what I'm
not him
saying?
saying be a him thing.
Yeah, but that was organic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Hey, you got to
I mean
roll with the punches.
they kind of both were though, because remember down in NXT the other night they was pushing him as a heel,
Mm-hmm.
like even when he got on the main roster, they kind of organically got over because he was after they did the whole Maxim Motto thing, which is funny that the AEW is still doing that with those dudes. Um,
That's such a waste of monsoon too. Like,
uh, when they split them up, they were trying to make another night a heel.
yeah,
Go back to this NXT thing. That'd be my only answer. I would definitely not be up in arms over Femi as a person. I just think it's certain guys that had too much equity. Like I said, I know Sammy's on Raw, so I wouldn't necessarily say. I mean, who's to say he's going to still be on Raw? But I feel like it's to be one of those two guys. It's just they put in too much work
yeah.
to not be rewarded at some point. And that would be the ultimate reward to knock off the 17-time never seen 17, as they say.
Hmm. What was I gonna say? Because to be honest, while I thought it was an interesting take, and I like the originality of the thought and the brashness to say, "Oh, we're gonna push this black guy." You know what I'm saying? Not to say this is this is definitely a different WWE where black wrestlers and wrestlers of color, period, are getting pushed. So it's not like they have to play to these tropes. You know what I mean? The way
Yeah.
that they had to back in the day. Funny story about that, man. I had a guy of Asian Pacific descent the other day, or just Asian descent, however you want to say it. And he was like, "Yo," he's like, "What's up with all these Samoans in wrestling today?" And I was just like, "Holy shit!" Like, did he really? He said that. I said, "Hey, man," I said, "Well, Roman opened the door for the cousins, man. What you want me to do?" Like, he said, "Hey, look," and they not booking them. There's no Rosies anywhere. Like, they're getting booked and they're getting booked good. They getting top money. Like, these guys. I mean, for lack of a better term, they were people that were carrying the wrestling culture. Like, Samoan. I think Samoans and wrestling go damn near hand in hand at this point.
Yeah.
Especially if you watch like Young Rock. Like, you could see like his family just how much lineage they had with wrestling, not just with WWE, but within their own wrestling promotion and how his father got on and all that good stuff, and just the history. You'd be hard pressed to find some wrestling history that doesn't include somebody of Samoan heritage
Yeah.
there. But him saying it just caught me off guard, man, when he said it.
Nah,
I was
facts.
like, I was like, wow. But as far as LA Knight, man, hey, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I'm there with you. I do think it needs to be a feather in the cap for somebody. It doesn't need to be somebody like Cody who's already made. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It kind of goes back to with the streak ending. Like, I think it was like as fans, we were like, even as fans, we were like WTF when Brock beat him and ended the streak. But it was like Undertaker always said, he was like, man, I really wanted the streak to end with the younger talent where it's like something that propels them further. You know what I mean? And he was like, I think he did want Randy Orton at one point in time to end it, and that was during like that Legend Killer run that they were doing with
Yeah, it's
Orton.
WrestleMania 21.
And with Cena, that would be this type of moment. That's why I wasn't mad at the Oba thing. I didn't know if Oba would be the guy for that per se. I think Karrion Kross is another name you could put there because I know Karrion a few years ago cut that promo on Instagram where he was saying he wanted to be John Cena's last opponent at
Yeah.
WrestleMania. So that could be a callback to that, and it could be a slow build because, like you said, he is getting over.
Hmm.
But yeah, I agree with you. It definitely has to be somebody that's got that equity already in place, and LA Knight's definitely one of those names for sure. But
And going back to the carrying thing real quick,
mhm.
who's to say that Cena's gonna still be a heel once he finally drops the title? Because like I said, I think they completely botched this heel turn for the fact that they announced that this was last year.
They made that announcement, and there was a guy named DJ that was involved that's like noticeably absent.
And on top of the fact, that's a huge point that you just made. On top of the fact,
Just a big question mark there. Like
Cena,
WT.
and like I touched on this a week or two ago, Cena keeps wearing the colors of the town he's in, like the sports teams. He's not wearing the rival teams. So
Right, and that would make sense. Okay, I'm gonna wear their rival as opposed to that city's actual team's colors. Like that would be like genius right there.
like I'm in Green Bay, I'm gonna wear Bears gear, or even though I don't know if
Or
they've showed
or vice
right
versa.
or
Like,
first, yeah, I don't know. Maybe sometimes 1 + 1 does not equal 2. I guess.
hey, I'm with you, KG. That would have been if I was in that writing room. I totally wish you was in the writing room just to tell them, hey, look, why don't we have Cena do this
Right, because
instead
he
of
came
what's
out wearing
going on?
Phoenix Suns colors in Phoenix, the Lakers colors in LA. Like I told you, I think I told you this like 2 weeks ago. He's wearing because what's the Kentucky Wildcats are blue and white. He's wearing blue and white when he was in Kentucky.
Yeah. And it just kind of make it current day, like the Lakers colors. In for instance, he should have came there with Minnesota Timberwolves colors on, like
She came with the Celtics, the
yeah, just
which fits because
something.
he's from Boston
Yeah, yeah,
or Boston area in West Newbury. Sorry, I don't want anybody.
close
I don't
enough.
know. I don't know what Newberry is like seeing you from Schaumburg and talking about you from Chicago. I don't
From the mean streets of West Newbury.
know.
All right, man. Well, that was the roundtable discussion of the week. People, I think I want to try something different here. If y'all want to start sending us questions or submissions for the roundtable question of the week, maybe let's just give it a go. Make sure you at the end of this check out the Instagram tag. You know what I mean at Hot Take Wrestling on Instagram, but at any of our social media platforms, just send a DM and let us know. I think we're gonna go ahead and get that started, KG.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. 'Cause We,
All
we
right.
want we want more fan interaction. We always down for it. Even if it's something we think is way off the wall, we'll still discuss it because some of our
Yeah.
takes are off the wall. You know.
Yeah. All right. So KG, let's go ahead and round this thing on out, man. We're gonna make our premium line events. I was getting ready to say pay review.
Might as
Premium
well
live
be.
event predictions. I saw that on AEW. They was like pay per view, and I'm like, dude, like I was thinking I was under the impression they stuff was gonna start showing on HBO Max now. So I'm like, I
They
don't know.
got
Like,
they got enough now because it's when they first started, they just had the big four, but now they got Dynasty, Revolution, no specific order, Full Gear, All In, All Out. Uh, what's the one I'm looking for? World's End.
mm-hmm.
That's 6. Am I missing one? So they kind of present. I think that's it, right?
I think that's it. I think that's
Okay,
their big
but they got
six.
at
I
least
think
they
that's
got
it.
6 now, at least. I might be
Mhm.
forgetting one. Oh, Wrestle Dream.
They still kind of building that one. I
No,
would
but
say
they've done it. No, but they've done it 2 or 3 years in a
multiple
row
times. Yeah, they've done it multiple times. Yeah,
because they just
I
been
just,
in
I
watch.
just, yeah, I just
No, I
don't
know
think they had
it's a
as
newer
many as
one. No,
yeah,
I'm saying it's a newer one is what I'm saying. That's why it's. But a lot of them, so I just named a new one. But they've done them the last because 2023 was when it was like the main event was that's when Edge or Adam Copeland debuted, and then last year that's when they took the title off Bryan Danielson. So they've been doing
yeah,
Wrestle Dream at least 2 years. At 7,
yeah, yeah,
they might need a streaming site. Is what I'm saying. Like you was speaking to.
yeah. That's true. That's true. All right, man. So from that, let's go ahead and jump into AEW's All In Texas premium live event taking place this Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a day of wrestling over there at AEW. You're going to still get a collision and all of that good stuff Saturday, I believe.
No, Collision's tonight. And I
Oh, it's
forgot.
tonight.
Yeah, they
Oh,
moved it.
okay. So, they moved it. They moved it. Okay. They bounce around with collision, man. So I don't be
Well, I think
big.
they did it because since the pay-per-views on Saturday, I think they always have Collision on Thursday or Friday when they have. The only time I think they keep it on Saturday is if they do a Sunday pay-per-view.
Got it. Got
Because
it.
like All Out is normally the Sunday before Labor Day, so they'll probably have Collision on that Saturday.
Okay. All right. And that's taking place at the Globe Life Field in Texas, in Arlington, Texas, to be more specific. I don't think they've announced all of the participants in these casino gauntlet matches. But yeah, KG, I'm gonna start, brother, with you on the 21 woman casino gauntlet match. Who do you think will be the victor? Or the last woman standing, I should say.
I'm gonna go with Chris Statlander.
Okay, okay, I'm there with you. Is Willow Nightingale going to be a part of that?
I believe so. So, but it seems like they're trying to
To push
push Chris
Chris?
Allen again. Not that there's
Mm,
anything wrong with it. I think she probably should have been women's world champion by now, but they are still kind of going back and forth with that storyline.
mm.
But I would be fine with her or Willow getting that opportunity for sure.
Okay, okay, I'm there with you. I think I'm gonna roll with you on that. I haven't gotten all the way back into the AEW bag. I just started back watching it for real last week. So I'm gonna roll with you on that pick of Chris Statlander. For the 21 man casino gauntlet match, winner gets a future AEW World Championship match, as does the women's winner. She gets a shot at the women's World Championship. So for the 21 man casino gauntlet match, KG, who do you got?
MJF.
I think you can't go wrong with that pick. I think you can't go wrong with that pick at all.
I'm just thinking storyline wise, who you have lined up in terms of hasn't had a world title match in a while because while you want to keep experimenting with people, newer talent as well,
Mhm.
at some point he has to get his another title match because it's been almost what a year and a half since I think MJF had a title match. I know he
I was
dropped
going
it
to
to
Osprey, right?
Samoa Joe. He dropped
That
the
was Samoa
international.
Joe.
Yeah, because that's when they wrote him out of the storylines, and that's when Adam
Oh,
Cole
you
turned
talking
him.
about the AEW
Yeah,
championship?
no, not a championship. Yeah, no, he was the
Yeah.
international champion last year. Yeah, when he lost to Osprey at All In.
Okay, yeah, I was just referring to that, just a championship, but you were talking about the AEW championship. Got it, got it. All right. Mark Briscoe is going to be entering at number 1 and MJF at number 2.
Correct.
So, you know what? For shits and giggles, I'll go Mark Briscoe. I'll go Mark
I
Briscoe.
wouldn't be mad at it. I'm just thinking about who might be the champion. We'll get into that at the end of this,
Yeah,
predictions.
it really depends on who ends up being the victor at the end between the main in the main event. But okay, so you got MJF. I'll roll with Mark Briscoe on that one. All right, from there we have a tag team match. The Young Bucks, Matt and Nicholas Jackson versus Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. Now the stipulation of this match is if the Young Bucks lose, they will be stripped of their EVP titles. And if Ospreay and Strickland lose, they cannot challenge for the AEW World Championship for 1 year. KG, who's your pick?
Osprey and Swerve.
Yeah, this has all the makings. You definitely. I mean, there's plenty of people to put in the AEW World Championship picture for a year
Hmm.
without having those two guys in it. But let's be honest here. Do we want to see a year without Will Ospreay and Swerve in the title
Right.
picture?
You're talking about two of the three or four most over talents on the roster. It's like no specific order goes those two, Hangman, Tony Storm, and I don't even know why I say the fifth person would be probably I don't know, somebody I could throw out there, but yeah, those are four for sure, four of the most over. So yeah, you can't really.
Yeah, and it's a built-in storyline. I think we've seen this a couple of times in wrestling where you had guys where they play this character or this gimmick where they're so high positioned in the company and they got all this money and all this kind of stuff, and then they have a turn for the worse, and they get the broke Corbin kind of thing going. I could kind of see them playing that angle with the Young Bucks. Hell, you might even see Baron Corbin pop up over there as a result. But my point is we know they're not gonna really lose their titles that they
Right,
really
this
hold
is
on forever.
storyline. Right.
The storyline, purely storyline. So totally going with you in the pick of Will Ospreay and Swerve
Right.
Strickland. All right, AEW World Tag Team Championship three-way match. We kind of talked about this earlier during the weekly recap. We got the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, excuse me. And we got Jet Speed, Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight versus the Patriarchy, Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. KG, who's your pick?
Or business or syndicate. Sorry, see, I got caught.
That's a tongue twister for you. I'm going with Hurt Syndicate as well. I can't talk tonight.
Well, I just kind of got caught up because there was a hurt business in WWE and I got caught slipping.
Yeah.
And then the caveat on that match, they got some angle where FTR is talking about if you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. I think something's gonna go down where after the match, either the patriarchy is gonna turn or there's gonna be some type of attack. I think Adam Copeland might be returning because they keep talking about they want to finish their careers together.
hmm
I think there's gonna possibly set up FTR versus Cope and Christian.
Which would be awesome. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. All right, let's see. Next match. AEW TNT Championship. Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher.
Cal
Fletcher.
Fletcher. Cal Fletcher.
All right, all right. Um, I knew Adam Cole was champion, but I haven't heard too much about this championship run. I know Cal Fletcher has definitely been up and coming, and he's part of the Callis family, so it's kind of hard to bet against that man. So I think I'm gonna roll with you, and I'm gonna roll with Cal Fletcher on this one. All right. Next up, we have the AEW International Championship and the AEW Continental Championship in a winner takes all unification match. All right, this is going to be a tongue twister here. Kenny Omega, which is the international champion, versus Kazuchika Okada as the
No, you got
continental
it exactly right.
champion.
I'm gonna go with Kenny Omega because I'm going with your theory. When somebody looks like they're overwhelmed going into a match that they have no chance, it just makes the most sense. Plus, Kenny Omega's fought too hard. Go back to their career in Japan, their feud. Every
Yeah.
time, every big title match outside of one, I think Okada won. Basically, I think he beat him like two or three. No, he beat him. My fault. He beat him twice. He beat him in a title match. My fault. They were pretty even. He beat him in a
hmm
title match at Wrestle Kingdom. Then I think he no, he beat him twice in title matches and lost once. So he beat him, and then they had that. No, he beat him once in a title match. Then he had a draw in a title match, and Kenny Omega beat him in like in a tournament that Japan does every year. Then Kenny Omega, so they're kind of very even in a sense.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, in terms of when like the titles and stuff and big matches are on the line. So I guess that would make Okada what 1-1-2, I guess. I don't know. I can't do the math right now. But
hmm
I'm just gonna go just because of that theory. I'm going Kenny Omega because he just looks like he's too overwhelmed. The whole fight coming back from diverticulitis.
hmm
Just the story just writes itself for him to come out as a victor.
Yeah. And I'm glad this is a unification match because
Yeah, it's be damn championships.
yeah, AEW was definitely starting to look like a video game with all these damn championships.
Especially because they're all, they try to push one championship, like the TNT championship, for example, which makes sense because Collision's on TNT. They feature that way more on TNT, but then if there was a brand split where Collision was their second brand, and it could just like how now WWE has all the IC title and the US title, but it's like nah, can't keep having too many damn championships.
Right. But for my pick, I agree with you wholeheartedly on here with Kenny Omega. I think that's the way to go here for this particular match. Like you said, he came back with diverticulitis. It's kind of like a redemption storyline that's going on with him. So it's kind of hard to bet against that. Now this one we probably gonna have a difference of opinion. AEW Women's World Championship match: Timeless Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné.
CEO. Yeah, I'm picking Mercedes.
I feel like the writing is on the wall because they putting all these titles on her. They trying to give her the female Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna pick Toni Storm, and it might be surprising, especially how I used to mess with Joe and some of our former guests about Toni Storm. I know she's just got the title back not too long ago. I would like her to keep it here. I think this is a feud where she will possibly eventually lose this title to Mercedes. I just don't know if right now is the moment you do it.
Right.
So
she is a TBS champion too, so it's like,
yeah.
What do you do with that championship? I just think it's because if you don't, then where do you go? Unless I'm wrong. What I mean, I'm wrong because they're trying to hit at Chris Statlander possibly turning back heel. So who's to say that Statlander won't be the one that dethrone her? So I could definitely see this is a toss up, honestly.
If they still had Camille there, I think this could have been an angle where Camille could have just became TBS champion, like Monet gave her the title, kind of in that Diesel role, like, hey, look, you take this title and you defend it for me under that kind of act. That obviously isn't the case, but yeah, I think that would have solved that. That would have been a nice little, 1 + 1 equaling 2 there, but that's not happening. So, But yeah, I'm gonna go with Timeless Toni Storm for my pick for this one. And last but certainly not least, the AEW World Championship Texas Death Match. We got the champion Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page.
Hangman. It's time. Hashtag free the championship. Started walking around the damn briefcase.
Man, Joe. I really want to pick Hangman in this case, but I have to believe in the Swerve. I say it all the time. They AEW Dynamite ended with him looking very, very strong. You saw Claudio Castagnoli and Jon Moxley fleeing to the back at the end of it. You saw him sitting there with the chains, looking stoic and looking like he's ready for battle. And I think he just looked too strong in that space.
Well, he's still technically outnumbered. I think what's going to happen, I think Bryan Danielson's going to return. That's going to be the deciding factor because, there's no rules in the Texas Death Match. In a sense, you just win by submission or knockout. So I think that if you see Bryan Danielson return to AEW TV, which will come full circle, either him or Darby probably comes back because the Death Riders just made too many enemies, and it's just culminating to the point like if you don't pull the trigger now, consider how much Hangman is over to. And Moxley actually had the title for a while. Like I knew Swerve wasn't getting it because Swerve was too soon.
Yeah.
For him to get it back / too soon into Moxley's title run. You knew Moxley was going to drop it that soon. I think Swerve got his title match. It just as much as we are invested in Swerve, it's just one of those things. You had a title as a baby face for that long. Chances are you're not getting it right back.
Right.
Within another year or so. Oh, excuse me. Unless they just drop the ball with the heel they put it on or something like that.
Right. And that's the reason why I hesitate to say Hangman is because I do think you might get Darby to be the person to end it all. Or they could do a swerve there. They could have Darby come back and you could have Darby attack Hangman to help Moxley retain. So he could be the one to take it off of him. And that, of course, keeps it in the briefcase, the title. But I don't know. It's just some storytelling there that they could do. And I'm thinking they'll probably lean toward that. And then we'll go from there and maybe see Moxley dethrone the next pay-per-view over. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and I'll pick Jon Moxley. Because like you said, it's a numbers game there too. And I do think you'll see people like Samoa Joe, you see Swerve, you see Ospreay come out there. Hobbs, the guys that came and assisted basically had the match with him on Dynamite.
Yeah.
I do think you'll see them trying to even the playing field, but I do think, like you said, it'll be like a surprise return there that'll kind of shock everybody by that person maybe turning on Hangman and causing him to lose. So we just have to wait and see. But that is AEW All in Texas. That's going on July 12th. So people, make sure you check out your premium live event venues as far as where you can watch it and check that out. All right, from there, we're going to go into WWE Saturday Night Main Event card. Now, this isn't a super long card at all. This is a nice little sweet spot. We're getting 1, 2, 3 matches here. So straight to the point. We're going to get right into it, KG. Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre.
Randy did look pretty strong. We got the RKO on Drew. Drew's in need of a W.
Won't necessarily be clean anyway, so
yeah, don't have to be clean. Don't necessarily have to be clean. And I do think we're seeing an arc where Orton is hearing the voices again, and he's gonna turn heel. And a loss would certainly help to usher in that for sure. So I'm there with you. I'm definitely going to pick Drew McIntyre. From there, we're going to go to LA Knight versus Seth Rollins.
Now, hold on. The other caveat, if Cena keeps the title, Drew is kind of in that tweener realm too, where I don't know, where it's like that will come full circle too, because at one point, he was the face of the company. The other one was supposed to be the quote unquote chosen one. He's supposed to be the next in line. Didn't pan out. Storyline right to self. This one I'm gonna go Seth though. It would be nice to elevate LA Knight, but not yet. And it's just the numbers game we already spoke to. Plus, this could be where Seth adds another member of his stable. This is where Bronson joined the last main event. So
that is true. Yeah, so we might see Austin Theory come join his boy again. I think I'm with you there again. I think as much as I want LA Knight to win this, I think the table is set for him to lose right here. So I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins as well. And then, of course, the match we had a discussion about earlier in this episode, Gunther versus Goldberg for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Gunther.
All right, we agreed on the last 2 matches, so I'm gonna just for shits and giggles. I'm gonna go against it. I'm gonna go with Goldberg, man. I got on the Goldberg shirt tonight, so I'm gonna go with Goldberg. But y'all make sure y'all check out WWE Saturday Night's main event matches that takes place Saturday night, July 12th. All right. And rounding this episode on out, we are going to talk about the return of the Women's Evolution pay-per-view. Women's Evolution pay-per-view is taking place July 13th on Peacock. All right, starting at 7 p.m. So let me see where I want to start here. Here we go. We are going to start our picks, KG, with Jade Cargill versus Naomi in a no-holds-barred match.
Jade Cargill, because no one's really booked to look strong when they carry the briefcase. They always made to look like there's rarely been anybody that's kept the briefcase that's booked like they're, dominant. So yeah.
Hmm.
Not at the top of my head that I could think of.
I feel you on that, and it makes a ton of sense. But Jade got the rub already at WrestleMania by beating Naomi. Then, of course, she's Queen of the Ring. But she got
That's
to get in the
another reason
mud.
why I'm thinking she's gonna keep it though, because she has a title match coming up.
Yeah,
You don't really want her losing before the her biggest match of her career, especially
I
because
think.
Naomi's probably gonna cash in anyway again, whoever wins.
Yeah, yeah. Only reason I'm gonna go with Naomi here is I do think Jade would lose, but it'll be due to interference. It won't be due to just like it won't be a clean W.
Yeah,
She is a heel at the end of the day. I could see something there where maybe Bianca comes back and interferes and inadvertently costs Jade, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, match. I could see something like that. Or, Naomi could get an ally from somebody,
right.
you know what I mean, returning or not, or just somebody current that we wouldn't have expected.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Naomi.
I just
Um,
I just rarely know. I just outside of that time, outside of the build to WrestleMania 17, I just don't remember when the last time a number one contender lost before a major. I mean, I know it's happened before. It's just, I mean, it wouldn't be anything wrong with it. It's just one of those things where I just can't remember the last time, like I said, the number one contender lost a pay per view match before, or a premium live or whatever you want to call it. But sure, it's
yeah,
happened before.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Moving on from that match, Women's Intercontinental Championship, Becky Lynch versus Bailey versus Lyra Valkyria.
Becky.
I'm going Becky too. They just put their belt on her. It's not going anywhere anytime soon because she's the man. Okay, let's see. It looks like there is a number one contenders battle royal that's going to take place. Pierce, the SmackDown General Nick Aldis announced the battle royal. The winner will earn a title shot at Clash in Paris. No specific title was specified though.
Yeah, the
Um,
winner can go after you the championship.
Okay. We don't know the participants per se. Do you have a favorite that you think would possibly win this battle royal for this particular shot?
Stephanie McMahon.
You got her. Let me see. Julia. Zelina won the title back from Julia, right?
No, they're having that match on
Is it,
SmackDown. So because you don't see it on the card, right?
no, it's not on this card.
Okay, so it's on SmackDown. She is getting a rematch though.
Okay.
I think it's this week on SmackDown. So tomorrow.
Okay. I'm not gonna make a pick because I'm not sure who all is gonna be in this. I think Stephanie Bakira would be a good pick because she's definitely making waves. People are totally into her. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Let's see what else. What else? We have the women's tag team championship match: Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus to be announced Raw Tag Team and
That's
NXT Tag
Kabuki
Team.
Warriors. They
Oh
announced
yeah,
on
the
Monday.
return. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to Roxelle and Roxanne. I say Roxelle. Roxanne and Raquel. Combine their names.
Roxelle, that's how they would do the thing. Yeah, they just gave Roxanne the championship to defend with Raquel. I think you let them live with them for a little while. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they did pull the trigger on Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair
Yeah,
and
I
let
think
them win.
for sure. I think eventually they'll get the titles eventually, but I think that's after like maybe around the time Liv comes back because that'll be the way, like I said, because there's gonna be somewhere they got to split up Judgment Day.
Yeah.
So
All right. NXT Women's Championship: JC Jane versus Jordan Grace.
JC Jane only because I think what did they rename Mariah May as? Blake Monroe, I think.
I'm
Is
not
it?
sure.
I think that's what they renamed Mariah May is. The point is, I think she's going to eventually dethrone. Not that Jordan Gracie is incredible enough. I just think eventually that's what they want to because, uh, yeah, she just came in and presented too much of a star. Like, and then JC Jane just got the title. Within a month or two ago?
Yep, Blake Monroe. You were correct with that name too
Okay.
for Mariah May.
I just think they set it up for her, and I think they're trying to present her as a babyface. If I'm mistaken. So
Yeah,
it's not that you can't do babyface versus babyface feuds. They did that before years ago when NXT was first starting up with Neville and Sami Zayn. So
yeah. The only reason I'm gonna pick Jordan Grace here is that there's a TNT Women's Championship match that's coming up on not TNT, excuse me, the TNA. TNA's next pay-per-view that's coming up, and I think that's July 19th. So I think that's
okay,
next weekend. And that match is going to be champion versus champion, the NXT Women's Champion versus the TNA Women's Champion, and winner takes all. And the TNA Women's
okay,
Champion is the woman that dethroned Jordan Grace for the championship.
gotcha.
So that's why I was thinking maybe you could see that return. But I could definitely see a scenario where JC Jane retains here, goes on to have that match, loses, and then you have Jordan face the new champion and take all, and she kind of does double
For
duty
sure.
back and forth on TNA. So let me see really quickly. I'm gonna look up that person's name while I announce the final match, which is for the women's WWE Championship. No, that's not the final match. Sorry
They
about
got
that.
two. Yeah, two. Yeah,
Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus.
Tiffany.
I'm gonna go Tiffany as well. It's kind of a no-brainer there. And finally, this is the final match here: Women's World Championship match: Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley.
Yeah,
You said Rhea or
yeah,
Io?
Rhea.
Rhea.
They just been building it up too much. How many times she's never beat her in a singles match or any capacity, basically. Like singles, triple. She's lost two triple threats to EO.
Mm,
That's how EO won the title when Charlotte was a champion in NXT. It was a triple threat. She pinned Rhea. She beat Rhea in Mae Young Classic. She beat Rhea for the championship on the road to WrestleMania, and then she beat Rhea again in that triple threat WrestleMania. So I think it's just time for Rhea to finally have her moment against EO.
yeah, and you definitely need to see some title switch at this here, and this will probably be the juncture to do it, the match to do it. And
Yeah,
you could
for sure.
probably have Oscar come and cost EO the title, and that'd be a feud right there.
That's possible. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna go with Rhea there for my pick as well. And just to finish that last thought about that prior match we were talking about with Jordan Grace and JC Jane. So the TNA Knockouts Women Champion is Masha Slamovich. She won the title from Jordan Grace at Bound for Glory, October 26, 2024. So Masha Slamovich versus the winner of JC Jane and Jordan Grace at the next TNA event. So that'll be next week. I know we never really talk about TNA. I do want to try to see if we can include that going forward in some type of fashion. But there you have it, people. So there's a lot of wrestling this weekend. We gave you all our picks. You know, you tell us what y'all's are. Y'all agree with us, don't agree with us, whatever. I'm gonna make sure I clip some of this stuff up so you guys can interact with it on our socials. And while we're talking about that, let me just go ahead and boom, there they are. Follow us on TikTok at Hot Take Wrestling. Follow us on Instagram at Hot Take Wrestling. Follow us on the artist formerly known as Twitter at Wrestling Take. We are also on Twitch at Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. And you can always find Hot Take Wrestling content on NMG TV on YouTube. All right. KG, any last thoughts, man, before we get out of here?
Uh, Drink plenty of water, so you can hydrate and be ready for all of these events. But Booker T might tell you no bread, no water, just meat.
Oh man, well said, my friend. Well said. All right, people. This is Hot Take Wrestling. I am your boy, Old Man Logan. That's KG, and we are out. We'll catch you guys next week on our regular scheduled programming on Wednesdays. All right. Peace.